Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. I'd love to see the faces of the bunch of bikers our OP served, and especially the face of the guy being disrespectful. Maybe this is the first step for them to learn some respect outside their jobs. Very well done by our OP. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Sorry, I can't break the law. I spent many years working in restaurants and bars. In that time, I made it my mission to do whatever I can to ensure nice people have the best time possible. I also developed the skills to put bad people in their place without doing anything but following the rules. This is one of my favorite examples. For a little backstory, in the U.S., each state has their own laws concerning alcohol service. The state I worked in at the time was very hard on servers who'd been found to have negligently overserved guests. The state was very diligent about educating us on the visible signs of intoxication so that we could ensure people got wasted responsibly. Now on to the story. It's a busy Saturday night, our brew pub is full, and there's considerable wait for tables. I'm doing double duty as both a server and manager, which is standard there, and I get sat at a new table with 4 middle-aged dudes. They're all dressed like bikers, which in that part of the country means they're well-off accountants and dentists playing tough guy for the weekend before they go back to their normal suburban hell. I'd like to say I don't stereotype, but that'd be a lie. There's almost always one guy in a group like this that takes it too far, and this was no exception. I walk up to the table to greet them, and before I can even tell them the beer specials, one of them makes a comment about my boobs. He even used that word. Gross. I'm startled and just look at him, point and say, "No," like I'd yell at my dog. The other 3 guys look at him and 2 sort of giggle while one looks embarrassed. I figured that should be it. He tested my boundaries and found I'm not putting up with this crap. Nope. As I'm attempting to take their beer order, the guy doubles down and uses that same word again talking about me. Again, the others look a little embarrassed, but none of them say anything to him about it. This time I look right at him and say, "Okay, 4 waters, I'll be right back," and I flounce off to the server station to fill the glasses. I return with them knowing full well these guys are going to be mad. But F them. As expected, they're protesting from the moment I get back to the table. What about their beers? They've been cut off before even getting one drink? They haven't done anything to deserve this treatment. They want to speak to the manager right now. I smile, say I'll go get her, then do a slow pirouette with a ta-da gesture at the end. "Hi, my name's OP. I'm the manager. I hear you guys have a problem." They start to protest again, and I'm over it. So I give them a short lesson in state laws and my responsibility not to serve them. "But you didn't serve us anything." "I'm sorry, even if I haven't served you personally, you're already visibly intoxicated and the laws of the state of blank forbid me from serving you anymore tonight." "No, we haven't been drinking. How could you think that?" "So you mean to tell me that he talked to me like that sober, and the 3 of you sober men said nothing about it? That's how you act when you haven't been drinking?" "Okay, guys, then you can leave, because that makes what he said and the fact that the rest of you thought it was acceptable even worse. Now, do you want water with dinner, or do you want me to kick you out for good? It's up to y'all." They drank water, ate their dinner, and of course didn't tip. But I didn't care. The law was on my side. And so was the manager. And our next story. Entitled mom demands I pay my stepdad's property tax bill. Cast. Stepdad, SD. Narcissistic mom, NM. Me, OP, at the time 21-year-old female, now 22-year-old female. Last year, SD was selling his flat in London. It was empty as the renter had left, so SD and NM asked if I wanted to move in. I would benefit as it would be rent-free, and I was planning on moving to London soon, so I'd be able to find a permanent place while living there. They would benefit as SD was struggling to sell the flat without it being staged, so wanted me to live there to stage it, keep it clean and nice for viewings. It was great for both parties, and I'd only have to pay bills. In the UK, when you take over a property tax, you have to register online, and then wait for a letter giving you an account number where you can pay. While there, I registered but never managed to set up my account as I moved out after only 6 weeks when I found my own place. I never got a letter during that time. I called the council and they confirmed that if I never received a letter that I wouldn't be liable for the council tax, as I'd be living in another property and I was not the owner of the flat in the first place. I was a full-time student at the time, so was exempt from paying property tax. NM and SD asked me to lie and say that I lived there up until the flat was sold because they wanted to use my exemption. I said I didn't want to, but eventually agreed. But still, I'd never received the letter I needed to, so I was not able to apply my student exemption. This all happened at the beginning of last year, and last month I got a letter to my new address from a debt collection company saying that a few days later, bailiffs would be coming to my property to seize my belongings to cover my debt. I was in a state of shock, trying to understand what debt I owed when I realized it was the property tax bill at SD's flat from the year before. I phoned them up, cried on the phone, and told them there was a misunderstanding that I would sort out with the council. They deferred the bailiff's date for a month, so I could sort out the misunderstanding with the council. I called the council. They told me they would sort it out. I just needed a letter from my university confirming I was a student. I called up the university and emailed them, but due to it being spring break, no one could help for a few weeks. That was fine. But this morning I started panicking, realizing it was only a week and a bit until the bailiffs would come. The council said that I could pay the amount, £460, and then get a refund once my student exemption came through. However, I'm a recent graduate, am working full-time since October, but I'm still paying off my credit cards and overdraft from my time at university, so I don't have a spare £460 lying around. The only way I could pay it is by putting it on a credit card. I decided to bite the bullet and tell SD about the bailiffs, the council tax, and asked if he could pay the fee, and then I would make sure the refund was issued quickly. He has a good job, earning $92K a year, and recently sold his rental flat in London, the one I was staying at, so I thought he wouldn't mind helping out while I got the situation sorted. I then got a phone call from NM. It was a very long call, but I'll write her key points in my responses. NM: how can you think that we're responsible for paying property tax when you were living there? OP: I tried to set up an account, but never got the letter I needed, so the council told me I wasn't liable. I was only there 6 weeks. NM: but you should have tried harder to set it up so me and SD could get your student exemption. OP: I never heard anything back from them, so I couldn't apply my student exemption. NM: why should me and SD pay? OP: I can't afford it right now, but I'll make sure to call tomorrow and hurry the refund along. NM: can't your partner pay? He's as liable as you because the bailiffs will come to your house and take your shared things. Me and my partner live together. OP: he literally has nothing to do with the situation, and I hadn't even met him when I was living at SD's flat. NM: me and SD were doing you a huge favor by letting you stay there for free, and this is how you repay us? OP: it was mutually beneficial. I took time out of my studies to clean the flat, stage it for viewings, and help you sell the flat, while I got to live there for free. NM: well, I can't afford it, and neither can SD. OP: silence. I wanted to make the point that this is a lie. She recently started working full-time for the first time in 27 years. She gets maintenance from my dad, her ex-husband, and she also rents out a 5-bedroom house that she owns outright, so has income from that. Also, SD has a $92K a year job and just sold his flat in London. There was a lot more to the conversation with a lot of emotional manipulation, but I stood my ground. NM paid the fee and said I had to get a refund ASAP, so I agreed. The thing that hurts the most is that I'm in a horrific situation with bailiffs about to turn up at my door. I now have a record as the council took me to court without ever notifying me. The letter telling me bailiffs were coming was the first I received, and my credit score will take a massive hit. If I don't pay, I can literally be sent to prison. It's rare, but it's possible. All that for £460 that she and SD can afford that will get refunded. I was planning on keeping up the lie NM and SD asked and applying my student exemption to the time SD sold the flat, which was an extra 2 months after I left, but now I honestly want to just have the bailiff sent to NM and SD's house, as it's technically all his liability. This is a very fresh situation, and I'm honestly just in shock. NM is usually manipulative, but this is another level. She'd rather I have a court record, possibly go to prison, take a hit to my credit score, and take out a credit card to pay the fee than getting SD to pay for something he was liable for. Update. My dad and I haven't always gotten along, but if there's one thing he can get behind is my mother doing something wrong. He doesn't like her much. Also, I do trust his advice in this situation, as he's a financial advisor and got a CCJ by accident a few years ago, so he knows how to deal with it. One thing he pointed out was her reaction was massively overboard. She's insanely angry. I think it's because SD already committed fraud by not telling the council that he was responsible for payments when I moved out, but my dad thinks there might be something more to it. Either way, NM is not happy that the authorities are getting involved in her and SD's finances and taxes. As of now, there's a couple of things happening. I called the council and told them everything, including that NM and SD tried to get me to commit fraud. I then sent a long email with a timeline of events and screenshots of messages where NM asked me to commit fraud. They're now in charge of investigating that, and hopefully it'll be sorted out and I can have my court record wiped. NM asked my dad to have a talk with SD on Friday, so I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm ignoring NM for a while until it gets sorted out, and honestly, I think I might go NC or VVVLC with her after this. I think you handled this very well. Good for you for not letting your mother and stepfather throw you under the bus. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.